town hall meeting about a week and a half ago in council district.
We started off calling them house parties because we were doing them in living rooms all across the city. And if you've been the first one, we had 3 or 4 or 5 people sitting around the living room. The idea that we would get a turnout like this on a Friday night when we first started out seemed like quite an accomplishment, but it gives you a sense of how deeply people are interested in this campaign. And so what you're going to hear tonight is the campaign that I wanted to run when I started. I intended to come and talk to voters substantively about what I have done and what I plan to do. So you could decide for yourself whether it made any sense. Now, somewhere along the way I got diverted. We spent a lot of time telling you how to spell my name and fill in the circle. I'm glad those days are over. Now I'm on the ballot, so all you got to do is fill in the circle. And so you're getting to see choices. You've got the other side, which, they filed a lawsuit to say you couldn't write in my name. Well, of course, the court said voters always have the right to write in. Then within a couple days of the court saying you could write in my name, this barber, Mike Duggan, showed up in the hope that if you misspelled the name, your vote got canceled. Well, 48,000 people had no trouble spelling the name, and then within a week of the votes being turned in, they tried to throw out 25,000 of my votes. That's what's been going on the other side. In the meantime, 207 times, I've been coming and talking to people substantively. I'm going to stay and answer every question. I know I've seen some people here who work with me at the DMC. If you were with me at the DMC, this will seem very familiar to you, because this is the way I operated. When I came into DMC, I didn't know anything about hospitals. I did lots of employee forums where I would lay out my ideas and the facts as I knew them, and I'd gather the ideas of others and keep adding them to the plan. You're going to see 2 or 3 points in the plan today that came out of comments at our last meeting at Triumph Church. And if we have a good night tonight, then on Monday I'm going to take some of the ideas that come out of here. But this is the kind of mayor I intend to be. To stand up and say, here are the facts, here's what I believe and here's why. And then I want to hear from you whether you agree with me or disagree with me. So here is what we're talking about tonight are the neighborhoods. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time telling you about the condition of the neighborhoods. You know what's going on in the neighborhood. And as I've done these events, the one thing I know for sure, Detroiters do not want to leave this city. They want to stay in their neighborhood. They just want the blight to stop spreading down the block. They want to be safe. They want their property values to come back. And so what I'm going to talk to you tonight about is the way that I would do this if I were the mayor. And this is probably going to be more substance than maybe you've heard in the past, and you're going to get a chance to decide if this is the kind of mayor that you want. So, first question, who's in charge of the neighborhood today? Who do you call if you have a problem? Well, we have 14 separate agencies. If you have a code enforcement question, it goes to Building Safety Engineering. Or it can go to the Department of Administrative Hearings or the Law Department. Or if it's an abandoned car, the Detroit Police. If you have a vacant lot problem, it goes to something called the General Services Department if the lot is overgrown. Or if there's garbage dumped on the lot, it goes to DPW. This is the way we function today. If you have a neighborhood cleanup program you want support on, it goes to a department. It's actually called Keep Detroit Beautiful. It's a real city department. If it's a dangerous building, you need it knocked down, it goes to Building Safety and Engineering for action by the Detroit City Council. If you want the house demolished, now we have a new program. The state of Michigan is in here. It's a program that I'm not very supportive of, but we're going to talk about why not. But the State Housing Authority, or you can go to the Blight Authority, or you can go to the City Land Bank, or you can go to the State Land Bank, or you can go to Building Safety and Engineering. And if you want to get money as a neighborhood group of block grants, you get approval from the City Planning Commission, and then it's administered by the Planning and Economic Development Department. If you have a problem in your neighborhood, you have to know which of these 14 agencies to go to. Is it any wonder then we're not making any progress. Now, where do you go? Well, let me start with what I think we need to do first. And we're okay at the light system. I don't want everybody to go to sleep on me. You're making me nervous. The first one out is okay, but let's leave the rest out. Okay. So, here's what I'd like to do. I want to take all these 14 agencies and put them into one single department. And we're going to call it the Department of Neighborhoods. And the Department of Neighborhoods, one department is going to be accountable for abandoned houses, demolition, vacant lots, code enforcement, neighborhood cleanups, and the sale of city lots, that side lot next to your house, and administering the block grant fund. Everything related to preserving and rebuilding your neighborhood is going to be moved from 14 agencies to one single department with clear accountability. And the other thing they're going to do is they're going to work on building neighborhood group capacity. We have a lot of blocks where they formed a block club. We've got places where several block clubs have formed a neighborhood association. But we've also got a lot of neighborhoods where we're missing those kinds of groups. And so I want the Department of Neighborhoods to work to build up that capacity, because City Hall can't do everything. We're going to have to do it together. Now, if you want help today on neighborhood redevelopment, where do you go? If you want to file a dangerous building report, you go to the Coleman Young Center, City Hall. That makes sense. If you want to get that parcel next to your house, you go to the city land bank in the Cadillac Square building. Or it might be owned by the county land bank, in which case you go over to the Guardian building. Or it could be owned by the state land bank, in which case you go to General Motors headquarters. If you want your neighborhood to be in the demolition program, you now have to go to Lansing, to the Housing and Development Authority. And if you want to be on the cleanup, you go to the Detroit incinerator. I'm not making this up. And the Motor City Makeover office is truly at the offices of the Detroit incinerator. 6 different departments, 6 different buildings. You know what they all have in common? None of them is in your neighborhood, right? We have all kinds of neighborhood functions, but they aren't in the neighborhood. So, where should we locate the new consolidated Department of Neighborhoods? I want to put it in your neighborhood. And so what we're going to do is we're going to organize by the 7 city council districts so that there will be a local district manager in your district responsible for your area. That district manager is going to work with the block clubs and the neighborhood association. We're going to set them up in a local office, probably in a police precinct or in another city building. But you will be able to go to one place in your area, and whether you want to complain about the vacant lot or the abandoned house or the code problems, you're going to have or a burnout light. 2 or 3 houses on a block in to fill in the other neighborhoods that are more densely populated. We're going to rebuild the neighboring business districts, because it does no good to bring your neighborhood back and you got a bunch of empty storefronts at the end of the block. We're going to streamline the demolition process. We're going to go after the illegal scrappers who are stripping the house and the scrapyard just out there, right? We're going to get a lot tougher on code enforcement. We're going to hold the banks accountable for what they're doing in the neighborhood. And we're going to change the city land bank so that you can actually get the vacant parcels that are owned by the government. That's the overall picture of what we're going to talk about.